Ah, okay. Y'all know I'm all about honesty, being a good person, and all that jazz. Well, it's time to be honest with you guys. Look, it's Friday, the sixth, the 15th, no, the 16th. I can't talk. It's Friday the 16th, and right now you should be listening to a conversation between me and my homie Adrian Stresso, local Dallas, Texas artist. Amazing. Shouts to him for coming and recording a podcast, or what we thought was recording a podcast. Look, long story short, if you're new to hustle culture, this never happened before in the history of hustle culture, so just go ahead and skip along to the next part. You know, this doesn't happen much, but it did this time. Long story short, the audio was not saved. Yeah, so I use Adobe Audition, a great program. Use it for every podcast. And for some reason, after saving the session, you know, I don't edit the podcast the same day unless I record the day that it goes up, like today. But I don't really edit it until later. So anyways, you know, this morning I wake up about to edit the whole podcast. And yeah, the audio files are just missing. It was weird though, because some files were there, some weren't. It was weird the way it was set up. I called Adobe support. They basically said there must have been an issue in the software, in the program. I could have done things to prevent it. I could have saved them individually, the audio files. I didn't do that. I just saved the session. All that to say, I've hit up Adrian and he is down to film it again, a different, obviously I'm not going to pretend like it wasn't recorded first. We're going to stir the conversation a little different. It's going to be different. Okay. But I just had to say that. And, yeah, so I'm sorry that this isn't Adrian Stresso. It's just me today, but hey, we're still going to have a good conversation. We're going to have a great time. So yeah, enjoy. See you guys in a second. Roll the intro. Yo, what's poppin'? Welcome to the Hustle Culture Podcast. I am your man, your host, your main dude, Andres Tagliaferro. I don't know why I said it in English. Andres Tagliaferro, aka Tags. And look, I'm very excited about something in particular. Before we really get into it, I want you guys to go ahead, give a round of applause, somebody, because I wasn't sure if I wanted to do this, and I did it. Okay, we have a hustle culture Instagram. That's right, specific hustle culture Instagram, HSLE culture on Instagram. Look, we're posting clips, we're posting more content. We're gonna be interviewing people, short interviews that won't come to the podcast, that'll be living on the Instagram in Dallas, local stuff. It's gonna be really cool. Right now there's a bunch of content. We're trying to get 3 posts up a day to keep you encouraged throughout the day. Bars. I just rhymed day with day, but it's all good. But yeah, I'm excited. It's gonna be cool. I'm excited to finally detach that from my name. Obviously I'm the host. Obviously, it's my show. But, I want it to be more than just my show. And look, this is kind of where I wanted to talk about for today. Not the whole thing, but for a good chunk of it. What is the Hustle Culture Podcast? We know what hustle culture is. It's a negative connotation for a toxic work environment where, really it trended after Gary Vee started popping off. And, it's an idea that you shouldn't work too much, that's the hustle culture, hustle, you should hustle all the time. Well, here at Hustle Culture, we believe that the hustle is important and that we do need to hustle. We also believe that there's a healthy way of doing it. And I like talking to people about that. How do you hustle? What's your hustle like? Are you somebody who just grinds 24/7? We saw that with Jabril Cooper. He's a grinder. That's what he does every day. He's episode 5, I think. And then, we talked to Morgan and Jaron, and they're more strategic about their time and how they consume their time. And I just think it's really cool to dive into mindsets and talk about, how do people become successful? What do people do every day to kind of be there and to be who they are? I just think that's really interesting. So if you're into that, go ahead and hit subscribe. Share this with somebody who you're is into the same thing. And yeah, that's about it. Look, hustle culture is fun. I think this is a fun podcast where I'm going to laugh. We're going to joke with guests. We're going to, have a good time, but we're also going to get deep. We're also going to dive into like mindset stuff like that. We're going to talk about tips and tricks about things. And, I want to start doing these solo ones more often. As you saw before, this is the only reason I'm really doing a solo one today is because, I messed up. But it's all good. I'm trying not to dwell on it. It happened this morning. I had a whole shoot with Trinity Tags, Content Creation, my agency. We had a whole shoot this morning at Well Health. That's the primary care physician's office. And, I told the director there, because I just handle the camera stuff and I edit and whatnot. But there's a director who oversees the work. I told him, bro, I had a bad day this morning. And, it's funny because in the Hustle Culture Instagram, we put up a post. It's a good day to have a good day. Every day is a good day to have a good day. I believe that. Even when stuff goes crappy. But hey, we're going to spin that. We're not going to let that ruin our day. And we're going to shoot a fun podcast. You guys are going to listen. You guys are going to sip on some coffee with me. My day's already better drinking coffee, talking to you guys. It's fun. But hey, so yeah, I really wanted to talk about a little bit more about the hustle culture and it's just hustle culture and what it is. Like this show, not the term, this show, the Hustle Culture podcast hosted by me. What is it? What do I want it to be? What do I want it to turn into? Why is it important? I really think that community is the most important thing on this planet. I think that if you have a dope community, if you're around people who are like-minded or who can challenge you in some ways, but at the end of the day want the same thing, I think that that's something super healthy. Look, I found that in organizations that I used to be a part of, like Calvary Dallas, a church that happened here. I found that there, a lot of people, we just wanted to spread the word of Jesus. And, we also had a very, we were all passionate young people who really wanted to just be out on the streets, grinding, talking to people, building relationships, meeting business owners and helping them grow. And like, that was awesome. I love that. And I haven't had that in a while, and I'm trying to build that. I'm trying to build that through you guys, through this podcast. When I Googled one of the best ways to build a community, the first thing that popped up is a podcast. And I really think that there's no better community than a community of people who all want to succeed. Whatever success looks like to you, you all have an ambition. And I think ambition is important, and it can be a bad thing. Don't get me wrong. But I think ambition is something that we all need. We need something to live for, purpose, meaning, you know what I mean? And of course, there's like the life things. Like, I think the meaning of life is to spend it with others and to like really build relationships. I think that's important in a life setting, but in a professional setting, in a career setting, in a hustle setting, I do think that being around other people who think the same to a certain degree, but can still challenge you on some things. I mean, y'all have seen it on this podcast. I like to think I'm open-minded, but sometimes I'm very closed-minded with some things. And, you saw it in Leo's podcast. I have a very strong opinion about social media, and we're actually going to talk about that in a little bit. But about social media and how it can be bad for society. And I bashed on TikTok and stuff. And then I talked to him and he's like, bro, what are you talking about? There's this, and that. And you know what? I needed that. And it was great because we were both coming from the same place where we're both like-minded enough to know that we both have ambitions. We both have something that we're really, working towards. But, we're both open and our minds can be bent in a way. And, someone, Leo in that podcast said something very important, which is it's weird because you have to be open-minded, but you still have to be strong-minded enough to have your own morals and beliefs and stuff. And I'm like, beliefs can change. All that to say, look, here I want to cultivate a community full of people who, want to succeed, have, want to do something big with their lives, and are overall just excited to be around each other and to learn. I mean, that's the biggest thing. If you're not here to learn, dip. It's good. And I don't mean to say that in a way of I'm here to teach. I'm here to learn too. That's why it's a guest-based podcast all the time. That's why I have guests on the podcast so many times. So don't take that the wrong way. It sounded bad. You're here to learn. If you're not going to learn, leave. That's not what I meant. I meant in the sense of Like if I see somebody tomorrow and they're just some person who's like just completely closed-minded and we can't have a conversation about something without it like being an argument or a debate. I don't know, like conversations aren't meant to be, this argumentative thing, in my opinion. I feel like it should be fun. I feel like I love, like, shout out to my man Michael Cardona. I want to have him on the podcast soon. He's working to be a police officer, and we share the same beliefs, spiritually. But he's a lot more conservative than I am in some areas. But we're able to have a conversation about things, and it's never a debate. It's never an argument. It's really just talk, listen, and actually listen. And like someone like that is what I want this community to be. Like those conversations, like to happen in the comments of my YouTube videos, of the Instagram, via DM of two people that follow the same page. Like I want y'all to connect and be able to be like, I can grab a coffee with this person and it's not a toxic person. Like that's really what I want to cultivate and who I want to put myself around. So I'm not building a community full of people that I hate. Okay. I'm building a community, hopefully, of people that I would actually like if I met them in real life. Like that's the point of this whole thing. But yeah, man. So if you want to join the community, there's nothing crazy you have to do. I don't have a Patreon. I don't have any of that. You don't have to donate. There's no weird thing. Simply, I encourage you to, one, subscribe, so you can actually be engaged with the community. 2, comment. Like, I know it's good for like the algorithm on whatever platform to comment and engagement and all that, and that's cool. And I'm not gonna lie, I want that. But comment because you want to be a part of the community. Like, if this is really a community, I want people to be able to. This is what I want the comment section to be. If it has 100 views, I want at least 50 of y'all to be engaging with each other in the comments and talking about, oh, Tag said this. He brought up this topic, and honestly, I agree with him. And then someone can be like, I don't know, man. Like, what about this? And then y'all can have a good, honest conversation. Like, I don't know if it's too much to ask. I get comments are toxic and like whatever, but I just choose to believe, I'm positive in that way, that, our community can be different, that we can actually, be like good people, not toxic, who actually want to meet other people who are the same way. But yeah, I just want to briefly, throw that in there because I feel like I don't talk about that enough. And as I'm building this thing, Hustle Culture, this brand, I want the community to follow, and I want it to be the same. I don't want it to be a big disconnect. Like Hustle Culture stands for this, but there's like everybody knows the people right now. The one who's getting the most, if you guys keep up with like YouTube culture or anything like that, is Aiden Ross. He's like a Twitch streamer, and his fan base is known for being like toxic as hell, bro. Like bad. And he seems like a cool dude, but there's a huge disconnect between him and his audience, and I just don't want that. When I'm building something, I want y'all to be cool and like look. And even if you're not that right now, but you want to be, look, I promise you, leave a comment. Let's see what someone replies. Like, and then maybe if they're nice to you, you can choose to be nice back. I don't know. I've went on too long about this, but that's just how I feel. And look, this is after Game 3 of the finals, NBA Finals. I think the Bucks are gonna take it all the way. I was hopeful for Chris Paul, but sorry, I just had to throw that in there. I'm just looking at my topics, and I just thought that I didn't put the finals in here, and I know why. That's not what this podcast is about, but like, I'm disappointed. That's all I'm saying. Chris Paul, so many turnovers. I don't get it. But okay. Anyways, look. One of the biggest things I wanted to talk about today, while we're doing this solo today, just me. I want to bring on some people to also talk about this topic, who are in the Dallas community. This next part is strictly for Dallas, the city of Dallas, the creatives in Dallas, content creators in Dallas. If you're not from Dallas, like, take this and maybe spread it to your city. I really think this is a conversation that needs to be had in Dallas, though, because there's just some crazy stuff going down. Let me go to my archive real quick, because I posted something at like 12 a.m. one night. I know I couldn't sleep, and I was just thinking about this for whatever reason. I don't understand. And it seemed to hit a lot of people who follow me. It hit them well. I was kind of hoping I didn't sound like a hater. I was kind of hoping like most people understood where I'm coming from. But here's what I said. I've noticed something about a lot of these Dallas bloggers / influencers. It feels like a lot of them really just post luxurious lifestyles, trendy food pics, selfies with attractive friends, It just a bunch of stuff that really doesn't matter, to be honest. I keep hearing that Dallas is full of obnoxious and entitled people from friends who come visit or just look from the outside in. And I think it's really just because of the social media stars of the city. They're the tastemakers and gatekeepers. So if their content is whack, guess what? The people in the city who they're influencing is going to be whack. Stella, my dog, just farted. I don't know if y'all can hear it. Bruh, she's going ham. For the record, I don't think everybody here is this way. I love my DTX peeps. I just think we need better social representation. Let's talk about that. Look, I said it here. I keep hearing that Dallas is full of obnoxious and entitled people from friends who come visit. I think it's because of social media stars. Look, communities in general are built by their leaders. We have a we have a heavy base of influencers here in Dallas. A lot. And actually, influencer marketing is pretty big in Dallas. A lot of local places like work with these people. A lot of them are food bloggers. A lot of them are fashion bloggers. A majority of them are female, to be honest. I don't know too many male, influencers here in the city that aren't like athletes. So I'm not talking about that. But I've been in the scene a little bit. I've worked with influencers. Like I said, I have my own advertising agency. I've been here, you know what I mean? I've been to parties where, they're like parties that are created by organizations here in Dallas, and they invite all of the big influencers here. And it's all the same, man. Every party's the same. It's all like either a gala or like some dinner at a tower in a big building. They have like a wall where everybody goes and takes photos, and like everyone just talks about their social media or whatever that is they're talking about. And I don't know. It's not cool. I don't think it's fun either. I shot it. I was ready to go. I thought it was going to be fun. I remember I got invited with this other influencer who hired me to come out to do a video. And I mean, I was excited. It was in Reunion Tower. It was fun. It looked fun. It looked like it was going to be great. I ate good. Appreciate that. But I couldn't hold a conversation with anybody. And I don't know, like this was like 4 years ago. But it felt like everybody was just like, what's like literally conversations like, yo, what's your niche? What do you do? Are you a local? All this stuff. I'm just like, I don't even know where to start with this. But I didn't have a great time. And then I tried, a while ago, I was trying to gain followers. So I tried to play the game a little bit. I tried following these people. And look, I followed like 4 big ones. She keeps farting, my dog. I really hope you can't hear it. Jesus. Stella, calm down. I follow these people, and look, it's the same post, man. It's them like they're holding out like an ice cream cone or something from like one of the shops, and them saying, "Oh my God, check them out." They're either completely just great. It's great. Okay, there's a side that's great. Cool. Let's promote local businesses. Let's do it. And there's some accounts that's what they're for, and it's cool. But there's other ones where they just take us. What did I say? What did I say here? Hold on. This is important. Really just post luxurious lifestyles. If I see another Dallas rooftop pic where there's a Drake caption by the biggest people who represent Dallas, like, come on. Trendy food pics. I get it. There's some bloggers who their whole stick is to like promote local business. That's awesome. Keep doing it. I'm not talking about those people. Shout out to them. Selfies with attractive friends. Like, it's literally like the same circle all taking photos together. And I hope y'all are understanding. If you're from Dallas, you understand and so hopefully you relate. I mean, a lot of people who read this related to it. But look, I just think that Dallas should have a better, like the voices who I follow don't have as many followers as the other ones. And they're like great. One of them, High Viz. High Viz is a Dallas photographer, started a street, like a community of photographers a long time ago. Now he's like really focused on the business and not really doing that anymore. But like if you go to his Instagram, it's all about news. It's all about, you know, what's going on in Dallas, like what's happening. It's great. He's a great follow. Go follow him. His wife is great too. You know, there's other people like what's her name? Jameen Mapola. You know, I thought at first that she was like a surface level influencer, and then I actually started reading her captions, and she actually talks about great stuff. She's providing her story. It's cool. I don't mind an influencer. That's not that. I think that influencers are the wave, and there's great influencers. I feel like if you're gonna influence, just do it right, man. Like there's so many people that just don't care. You know what I mean? They're just here for a bag or whatever, and they're just want to up their engagement, so they just post a cool photo and then they put a really crappy caption. Like, I would love for those people to simply just add some story, bro. Like, make a long caption, bro. Talk to your audience. The truth is that, like, if the people who are seen the most on social media, which is, you know, a big percentage of the amount of time that we spend with other people is on there, if people see that shallow, luxurious, not really saying anything, just shallow life, they're going to emulate that because they're going to think that's what it takes to be big. And I'm talking in a Dallas sense. Again, if you're from another city, like, I'm sure this isn't just a Dallas thing, but Dallas is known as the obnoxious city. It's known, like, I hear people from Fort Worth say that. Like, I have a lot of photographers that are Fort Worth photographers instead of Dallas photographers. I'm like, why the freak don't you go to Dallas? Dallas is obviously the more developed city when it comes to like cool stuff to take photos of. And they're like, bro, I just don't like the people. They're just all entitled. Nobody cares. There's no culture there. I beg to differ. This is where I came and I said the next piece. Dallas is a beautiful city with amazing people. I really think that Dallas is slowly turning into the next New York City with genuine Southern hospitality. Imagine a New York City without people being assholes. Imagine people getting the city vibe and the melting pot vibe. That's what Dallas is, but with nice people. I do think that, like, when you're in the city and when you're actually in here and you're not just outside looking in, it is a great city. I love Dallas. That's why I rep it. That's why I live there. What makes this city unique, though, is the culture. It's so rich in diversity and influences from the streets, as well as very corporate and business minded. That's what makes it awesome. You know, there's so many crossovers. There's so many like really big brands doing stuff with, like, you know, grungy like brands. It's fun to watch. I love it. We're all proud as fuck to be from Dallas and to rep Dallas, and that's a beautiful thing. Unfortunately, I just feel like that's not highlighted through the current streams of social media. Last part, since I didn't really offer a solution, I'm reading still. I just said, because in the last one, I basically said, I'm moving to Dallas. We currently live like right outside of Dallas. We're moving to downtown. I was like, when I come, I'm stepping on my content. That's literally what I said. And I hope to be one of those voices and really raise the other people who I think should have a bigger voice. The only way to solve the issue is by telling the stories that actually make the city whole. The ones that highlight the beauty that we see. The ones that make us proud. Not just collab with the highest followed influencer, which is what everybody wants to do here. Everyone wants to take a photo with what's her face or what's his face and just post it and tag them so they can share it and so they can gain some followers. But I'm like, bro, where's the beauty in that? Like, where are the events? You know, I had a great talk with Brandon Walker. If you guys don't follow him, I think he's one of the other voices. I had coffee with him. We talked about this event that he wants to do here in Dallas for creatives and content creators. And, you know, he's one of those genuine people, I feel like, from just sitting with him for a little bit. You know, he was not first to talk. You know what I mean? You ask him a question, he'll answer, but he's not like super outspoken when you talk to him. He's one of those guys who really like digests what you're saying, listens. That's so rare here. And I don't know, man. I feel like the content creators in a city are the story. We are the people who tell the story of the city. And if the content creators aren't telling the story, if the big people aren't a reflection of the community, of the city, move to LA. Because that's what they, you know what I mean? Just go. Everyone from LA is coming to Dallas. That's another thing. I had that conversation with Brandon. A lot of people from LA are coming here, coming to Dallas. And we don't really have a standard, bro. We don't have like, this is our culture. Like, we do. There is a culture. If you come and you go out with a local and you go to Deep Ellum, or you go to, like, I don't know, Bishop, or you go down, or you, like, when you go out and you do stuff, you feel it and you see the actual culture and community here. But when you're just following people on social media, or when you're just trying to get to know the city online, you can't see it. There's all these accounts. There's like 1,000 accounts with like 10 best things to do in Dallas. Okay, but Dallas isn't just the events that you can go to. You know what I mean? There's cultural stuff here. There's a pretty cool rap scene here. You know what I mean? There's a hip hop scene. We have a very good and up and coming NBA team. Luka Doncic, hello. Cover of NBA 2K22. Shout outs, Luka. We have a developed team. Mark Cuban's doing his thing. Like, we're a known city, and for some reason, we're not talked about. Like, why are we not being compared to New York? Why are we not being compared to Miami? I think it's simple, bro. I think it's we online, the people who represent Dallas, they don't show it. There is no unique flavor to Dallas online. You can't feel it. It feels like another generic city. You know what I mean? It just feels like another city. And I don't know, man. I want to be a part of a conversation that starts highlighting the truth and the beauty of Dallas. That's what I want to do. When we move there, I promise I have some things lined up, some content ideas that are going to be great. I'm building up the team. Shout out Adolfo. You know what I mean? Follow him on Instagram at Adolfo Avalos, or I'm sorry. I'll put it in, I guess. Great guy helping me film stuff. Shout out Carolyn, photographer, Jacob, photographer, Elliot. We're like, as soon as we move in August, like in mid-August. As soon as we move, the content's going different, because somebody's got to tell the story. Okay. And I there's a lot of people on podcasts that all they do is talk. All they do is say stuff. All they do is, get mad at other people. I'm not gonna be that guy. I'm gonna help the thing. And the biggest thing I said on that thing was like, not only am I gonna raise my awareness of myself and hustle culture, this community, I want to uplift the people that I care. Like Brandon Walker, he's got like 7K on Instagram, way bigger than me. He should have 50K. You know what I mean? Highviz has like 20K. He should have 50K. There's so many people that I just know, like Rob Howe, who was here, big in Dallas, 20K. He should have 70K. And I just want to help facilitate the progress and give the voice to the actual people that want to use it. But yeah, that was my little rant. That was my little rant about Dallas. I'm sorry. Look, I love the city. I love the people. There's a lot of people that I know that are cool. I don't want to just bash on a city's influencers and whatever. And look, if you're one of those influencers, you know who you are, with 100K followers or, 50K followers, and you feel like you maybe not using your voice. Maybe you're not using your voice the right way. Look, I'm not just bashing you to say, screw you, get off the internet. I'm saying, like, bro, like, step up your content, man. Like, it's never too late, bro. I just want to see cool stuff, man. I want that stuff to be highlighted. But yeah, that's really it about that. I want to establish a better, that's all it is. I want to establish a better Dallas content creator community. That's it. And look, I think hustle culture is the way to do it, but hey, who am I? That was one thing I wanted to talk about. I think it was really important. There's another topic I wanted to cover on this hustle culture thing. Look, I was on Twitter. Anytime I start a topic with I was on Twitter, you know that I'm like either super agreeing with something or super disagreeing. So let's have fun with this one. Okay, this girl, her name is Liz Whiting. I don't know her. She was retweeted by someone I know. She tweeted this: if a job tells you you're family and it shouldn't be about the money, run. It's always about the money. She put clap emojis. You're being manipulated. I see this a lot, and people are guilted for not being loyal. Work is for money, period. Don't get played, get paid. I'm going to say it again, because I think y'all missed it, and y'all really aren't going to rewind. If a job tells you you're family and that it shouldn't be about the money, yeah, tell them, Stella. Run away. You're being manipulated. I see this a lot, and people get called guilted for not being loyal. Work is for money. Look, okay. This is a culture thing that happens in some jobs. I worked at a place like that very recently. Look, your job, the place you work for, if their pitch is that you're a part of a family, which is great. At Hustle Culture, we're a family. The people that I bring on that do stuff for me, like when we actually get to the point where we're considered a company, I'm going to pay them. You know what I mean? If you're working a job and you're getting underpaid, run. If you're not getting paid, run. I think that was super important. It's something me and my brother-in-law talk about all the time. There's a lot of businesses that like thrive off of the idea that, you know, people should just want to work for me just because. The truth is, that's a prideful, egotistical, arrogant way of thinking. Look, the people who I've done work with, who've worked with Hustle Culture, can attest to this. I don't have money to pay my employees. I don't have employees. I don't have money to pay people to help me. I don't at the moment. Hustle Culture makes $0. In fact, we're in debt because this costs some money, that costs some money, that costs some money, that costs some money. So really, we're losing money. But I talk to people and I say this. Look, I said it in the production assistant job. I can offer one thing. You can learn from me. Okay? I do think that a learning opportunity is important. I don't think people should be overworked to learn, though. I've told you can ask Adolfo, you can ask Jacob, you can ask Carolyn this. I'm doing this thing. This is what I need. Can you do it? Yeah, I can do it. Cool. I don't have any money to give you. I want to give you money. And look, if you get plugged in and we stay in touch and the day comes that I do have money, I promise I'm going to give you money to do this. My friend, especially Adolfo, he's like one of the people who recently reached out. We've hit it off. He's super energetic about everything and really wants to be a part and has helped me. We text every day. I don't have money to give him. So what I'm not doing is telling him, yo, you should want to be here, bro. You get to be here, bro. You get to be a part of Hustle Culture. I know you're not paid, but you shouldn't want to be paid because the truth is we're family. And if you cancel on me, screw you, bro. You're not being loyal. Dude, I have my photographer friend, Jacob. He's been helping me this whole time, bro. Like at every podcast, everything. I try, I buy him dinner. I do stuff when I can. When he can't make it, bro, there is no expectation. I tell him, cool, bro. I appreciate you. I hope that whatever reason you can't be here. He usually tells me. Like one time it was a family thing. I'm like, bro, I pray for you. I hope that everything goes well. But at the end of the day, there's a right way to ask somebody for a favor. That's what I'm doing. I'm asking people for favors. I'm asking Jacob as a favor, hey, can you come and shoot this podcast? Can you come photograph it? I'm not saying you're getting there's no expectation. He gives me there's no, I need 20 photos. There's no, I need this. It's just, can you please come do it? And I appreciate you. I think that's the right way to ask. I don't think there's anything wrong with working for free as long as the other person isn't exploiting you. And this is a line I'm trying to make sure is very clear with who I work with that decide to do it for free. I'm meeting with someone tonight about, him helping. And this is the pitch. Look, I'm building something great. I think this is going to be awesome. I think the podcast is going to be awesome. Whenever I build a team that when we're actually making money, when I have an offer on the table or when it starts making revenue on YouTube or whatever, I'm going to cut it evenly. You know what I mean? I'm going to give you 20. I'm going to give you 20%. It's going to be percentages. I think that's how you should do business. That's the pitch. And then I'm like, but right now I don't have that. Right now, everything you're doing is for a favor. And I can't make a promise that it's going to blow up because I can't control that. I can't make a promise that, I'm going to hire you because I don't know if I am. But if you come and you do this shoot with me, I would be really grateful. And that's literally what I say. Carolyn, the photographer who came and did a great job at the Adrian Stresso thing. Sucks that we didn't freaking record it correctly. She was great. And I told her, you were amazing. Look, I would love for you to come back. If you don't, it's all good. We're homies. I have your number now. And if I ever do have like a paid gig or something, I'm going to contact you. Likewise, she'll probably contact me if she has any video stuff. If you want to come back, great. If you don't, cool. I think that's the right way of doing it, man. Like, present it as a favor. Don't present it as an opportunity, because the truth is there is no opportunity. If somebody wants to work for you for free, it's because they obviously see some value in it. You shouldn't have to like push that. But if a job tells you, like, I think, and what she's saying is like, you're already in the job. I've been in this situation. You're already in the job. You were asked to do one thing. A lot of responsibilities get added to you. And then when you say, hey, I need to get paid more, then you get called disloyal, or they guilt trip you. You know what I mean? Or you want to do your own thing and they fire you because you weren't for the family. That's toxic. And look, if you're at a job right now and that's how you feel, that's not normal. Okay? It's not how it should be. You know, I know a lot of people who do business right. I work with people. Shout out Rob Howe. When he has a project that he needs me to work on, there's an equal trade. He pays me what I ask for. You know what I mean? That's a good relationship. Me and Rob are going to be homies for life. You know what I mean? And if you don't feel that way about your boss, you feel like you're being manipulated, you probably are. And you should talk about that. You should bring that up. Like, you're being manipulated. At the end of the day, I was having this conversation with, I don't know who I was having it with, but we were talking about how, it was with Adrian on the podcast that didn't get recorded. Oh my God. He said, look, I just never want to work a 9 to 5. And here's why. Because I know that at the end of the day, the goal of the manager or the CEO or whoever is to pay the person who's working for you the least amount so you can profit the most. That's the goal. You know, we live in a capitalist society where that's the goal. The goal is to underpay, over profit. That's why people are going other countries for work, remote, especially now with COVID, you know, because you can pay way less there and get way more in return. And when you're talking to corporations, big businesses, that's usually the case. That's why I like working with small agencies, with small companies, because they're not at that point yet. Obviously they want to profit, but like, I don't know. It's very tricky. But when he said that, I was like, dang, you're so right. He was like, this is why I'm an entrepreneur. This is why I gotta hustle. This is why I gotta do swim lessons. This is why I do my music, because I never want to be a part of the corporation again. Because I know that at the end of the day, they don't really care about me. You know, your coworkers might, your manager, your supervisor might, but at the end of the day, you're just another person in a machine trying to work for this person to make them the most amount of money, and you're completely disposable. So, all that being said, it's very morbid. It's very sad. I'm sorry. I know. Just, if that sounds crappy to you, you know, I'm not going to say just build your own business, because it's a lot harder. It's probably easier to just work like that. It is easier. I know that for a fact, actually. But like, now that you know that, right? You just heard it come out of my mouth. You've probably thought it. I think it's common knowledge. Like, that's the point of being an employee. That's why they have employees. So they don't have to work as much as you will, and you'll get paid less. I mean, that's just why they do it. But now that you know that and you're aware, the next time that you're being manipulated for, like, you're not really in it for the team, you know, you're not being family, you're being whatever, remember that you are replaceable. And that's a good thing, because that means that you can leave and you can go to another place. And when you leave and you go to another place, there was an article, I don't know if I'll find it, I'll try to find it while I'm editing, an article that said that this is why millennials aren't staying in one place. It's not because they're greedy. It's not because they're self-absorbed. It's because it's very rare for somebody to get a raise nowadays. You can quit a job, apply for a new one, and get paid double. That's why a lot of these millennials, a lot of Gen Z, a lot of these people are going job to job every 5 years. That's just the way it should work. There's a way to do it. There's a way to finesse the system. And, you know, I just wish it didn't exist. I wish companies weren't like that, especially like the small agencies or the small companies that do work like that, like who do you think you are, bro? Seriously. Like, you're not Nike. Okay, not to say that that's okay if they do it, but like, you don't really have a lot to offer. And to manipulate someone to say that like you should just work less, you should work more for less because we're family. I'm sorry, but isn't family, don't you look out for family? Don't you want to see your family get paid? I don't know. Am I off here? Am I wrong? Like, when I go out to a lunch with a family member, I want to pay for their meal. I don't always do it. Shout out my sister. But you know what I mean? I'm not going to say we're family. You should work twice as hard for me or be the best in this relationship for me. And then when push comes to shove and I'm supposed to give them the one thing I promise, I don't. Or I give them a cheap version of that. Bro, that's manipulation. That's bad. You need to get the freak out of there. And I just think that's something I want to talk about. It caught my attention. I saw it on Twitter, screenshotted it. I put it on my story because that girl was right. You're being manipulated. Run. Simple as that. And look, there can be this trap of when you're at a job that you feel like you have to stay at that job forever. You even feel guilty because they're making you feel guilty. You're overwhelmed. Well, so is everyone else. No, sis, that's not how it should work. You should accommodate. Gary Vee says something that is so amazing, and it's this. Employees do not work for the boss. The boss works for the employees. And that's a great work environment to be in. The guy who gets hated for the hustle culture movement. That's what he says to other people when they say, I can't find the perfect employee, Gary. Where do I find? I do the fire, the hire, the everything, and it just doesn't work. And he says, stop being a dick. Maybe it's your fault. Maybe you're expecting way too much. It's your business. You should be working for them. Simple as that. And look, if you're one of those people for some reason and you're listening to this podcast, look, you can change today. You can set up a staff meeting. You can say, I'm sorry for manipulating you. I know it sucks. And I know you probably have a big ego. And I know you're probably full of pride. But man, imagine... I'm an optimist. I told you I want to build a community over here. I told you that I believe people can just be in comments and not be toxic. Clearly, I have shown to be a very extreme positive person when it comes to like expectations. I expect great things. That's just how I am. But imagine a place, a world where everybody got paid what they deserve. I mean, like, look, I'm not the guy who says you should raise the minimum wage to like $14 an hour. I don't believe it. You know, I think some jobs deserve what they deserve. That goes both ways. You know, trust a snake to be a snake, to bite. Trust a lion to be a lion, to eat you. You know what I mean? Same thing here. You know, like if you are, you know, whatever position, I don't really know much about positions. I do know, let's put it in my role. On a set, a director is more valuable, what I pronounce like that, is more valuable than a production assistant. That's just the truth. The director has a lot more roles, a lot more responsibilities, a lot more weight. It's it's his vision. Sorry, I was taking a sip of my coffee for the audio listeners. You know, then the production assistant, who, like, if, you know, the worst thing he can do is like drop a lens or break it, you know, which, I mean, in a film set, you can buy a new lens, start tomorrow. You know, a director should get paid more than the production assistant. That's just math. You know what I mean? And, you know, sometimes I think it's true. Some people have this complaint and they think they should get paid more. And the truth is, no. Like, the key to all this, Gary Vee says it all the time, is self-awareness, bro. Like, legit. If you know that you're not an integral part of a system, you know that you're super disposable. Like, if like we're talking like, you know, somebody who's like just crunching numbers, there's not a lot to do. You know what I mean? Like, you should know that you're more disposable than the guy who's like overseeing the whole team. You should know that. And you shouldn't be like, yo, I should get paid $40 an hour to do this like minimum wage job. That's just truth. That's truth. But there are a lot of places, especially in my industry, in the content creator world, where the value is like up for grabs. There's not a clear, like, you know, there's not a clear line that says this is how much you should get paid, because there's so many variables. But like, you know, if you're a photographer and someone wants to pay you $100 to do a wedding, a full-blown wedding, come on, you know that that's worth more. And then that's where the manipulation comes in. So look, I just encourage you, look, if you work at a job right now, most people are, and you're still not at that level where you started your hustle yet, or maybe you're not even looking to start a hustle, maybe you're a key decision maker and you're in the company that you're at, you feel like you're getting a little mistreated, like you're getting a little underpaid, there is nothing wrong. There shouldn't be anything wrong with you going and talking to your supervisor and being like, yo, this is how I feel. And hopefully if they're a good person, they'll listen, and they'll do what they can to accommodate. But yeah, I just thought that was big, and I'm gonna read it for you right now one more time. If a job tells you you're a family and it shouldn't be about the money, run. And I think also the other key here is when it says it shouldn't be about the money. If any job or corporation tells you, bro, why do you care so much about what you're getting paid? Or like, why? Like, I've been in these situations as a freelancer where like somebody's like, bro, can't you just like we're homies, like give me the homie discount. No. I'm doing a job. I told you what the payment is. You either do it or you don't. But if you're already in the job and it tells you shouldn't be about the money, get the freak out of there. And that's end of story. It is about the money, bro. Like, when you're working somewhere, you are working. You're not hanging out. You're not doing a favor. That's why I started this whole argument or this whole topic with that in mind. Like, people that do stuff for hustle culture, it is a favor. And I tell them, you're not working for free here. You're doing me and you're doing the brand a favor. But if you're at a job and this is a place where you consider you bringing in income, and somebody tells you that it shouldn't be about the money, you like literally tell them that the guy from the podcast in Dallas told you to say this. Slap them in the face. Maybe don't do that. You'll probably get, charged for assault or something. Probably should do that. But like, legit, like, bruh, tell them no. Like, I'm worth more than this. You're trying to manipulate me very clearly. I am here for one thing. It's to work and to get paid. And here's the other thing that a lot of people don't get. The only way for your people to do the job correctly is to get paid appropriately. Nobody's going to perform right if they're not getting paid the right amount, because that's going to be in the back of their heads. Do you want a good employee, or do you want a burnt out employee who thinks that he isn't getting paid enough? I mean, come on. It's pretty simple. I would like to think that, whichever pops up first, whichever gets the most income first, either my agency or this podcast, I would like to think that the team I bring on would be a team where they can say that my boss cares about me. My boss, works for me. I'm cool with that. Hell yeah, I work for you, bro. Like, you're giving up your time, your heart, your time that you didn't like. That's your most valuable asset. You're giving it up for my vision. The least I can do is pay you the right amount. You know what I mean? So I'll end it on that, because I think that's important. I just think it's important. Let's all take a sip of coffee, bro. I got a little heated. Something else I want to talk about, and this will be the last topic. And I want this to be the question of the day. When I do these solo ones, which I'm going to do more of, I hope you're enjoying this. I'm going to do more podcasts. I'm not even going to call it a solo podcast. I'm just going to call it, the podcast where I talk about this or that. I want to talk about rethinking or reevaluating going like full-time entrepreneur for some people. There's a clip I posted. It's on the Hustle Culture Instagram. It's of my friend Abraham, Bram's Touch. He was talking about, like, everyone sees entrepreneurship as this beautiful, elegant, you see me in a suit. No, bro, like, I cry at night sometimes. He said that. Like, it ain't all sunshine and rainbows. Shout out Rocky Balboa. It's not, bro. But I wanted to talk about that because this is something even I've been feeling and thinking. especially since I started doing this podcast, and I want you guys to talk about this in the thing. It's like, when is an appropriate time for you to take the leap? That's going to be the question of the day. When do you think is the right time to jump out of this? And I know if you're listening to this, you've already asked that question. You've probably have been anxious. So I want to give you my insight as a content creator who is completely self-employed via clients and not like another agency, or like I'm not an in-house creative. I have my clients that pay my bills. That's how I work. So maybe my insight helps, but I want you to ask that question. When is it the right time to jump ship? Is it when you're making more money than your job is making? Is it when, there's a lot of different ifs. And I've been even internalizing my feelings and thinking about that myself. I think that you have to judge the risk versus the reward of when you're jumping and what responsibilities you have. You might hear my dog growling. I think somebody walked by the door. She's like, she's a little Frenchie. She's not going to do anything, but she swears that she is. I don't understand her. But yeah, that's something I want to talk about. When do you think is the right time to do it? Me personally, I thought when I did it, the time that I jumped fully at first, my first ever attempt, I had just got an apartment. It was my first apartment ever. I was like 18 or 19. I had dropped out of college, and I just said, fuck it. Let's just go for it. And I did it. And so I think I was freelance full time for like 2 months. And then I literally got a job again. I worked at Starbucks. I've talked about the story on episode 7. This isn't new. It just didn't work out for me. I didn't do it at the right time. I think I did it way too early. Now there's a method of doing this that Chris Do, if you don't know him, if you're a creative guy, you should follow him. He talks about creative entrepreneurship. He's great. He said something about the overlap method. Like, it's okay to have a job and be building your side hustle. And I think that's so true. And this is kind of where I'm coming into as me personally, like the way I see how I'm operating day to day right now and all that. But he said, it's okay. Look, like, it's okay to have a job and then work on I said it weird. I like ran out of breath. A job and then work on your side hustle after hours or before hours. I mean, Rob Howe, the way he told his story, he said that for a while he was still working at the agency he worked at, and him and his partner would wake up like 3 hours before, and they would just grind for 3 hours and then go to work. What's wrong with that? I think that's great. I think that the key is like minimizing the risk of making that leap. I think that's the answer. But I want to hear you guys. That's in the comments. Put it down there. I think that it's up to us to minimize how we do things. When we do things. I mean, simple as that. What does that mean? It means like, do you have a ramp to see if I go full time, my rent will be paid for 3 months and I can give it a solid go for 3 months straight, or 6 months, whatever feels comfortable, maybe a year, whatever. Now, I know that there's two ways of thinking, right? Maybe some people will get caught up in that. If you're an overthinker, you're probably going to get caught up in that, and you have to like really analyze it and be self-aware enough to know that that's what you're doing. But a lot of people might say, oh, I want to stack up for 3 months, and then they'll get scared, and then they'll do it 6 months, and then you'll just never make the leap. That's why there's people like Gary Vee saying, fuck it, just do it, bro. Just go and do it. But the only issue I have with that, simply put, is like, I did that directly from what Gary Vee said, directly from that influence. High on Gary Vee's fumes. I was like, bro, let's figure out. I was the guy I bought a sweatshirt. I bought one of his sweatshirts. It was cool. It was about passion. I love it. I'm not bashing Gary, by the way. Some people need to hear that. I just wasn't ready, and I'm sure he said that before. You have to make sure you're ready. You have to be whatever. For me personally, I wasn't ready, and I thought I was, and I was like, I was going through a lot personally, and I just, I don't think I really thought it all the way through. I just said, screw it. And, I'm glad I did, because I learned my lesson. But again, I'm trying to teach y'all from my experience what not to do. Don't do that, okay? You got to really analyze. Can I do it? What's the best way of doing this? Because look, let me tell you where I'm at right now. This is where I wanted to land. You know, I'm married. I have a dog now, which, by the way, we just had to take her to the ER. She got like hives all over her body, and we had to like get her stuff. And she might even be allergic, like really bad. And we might have to pay like a monthly, like $500 just to keep her allergies under control. You know what I mean? These things that come up. And I've been considering getting a job in the space, in the industry, and still having the thing. And I think I personally just haven't had the pride, or haven't let go of the pride enough to do that. Cause like, hey, yo, I have a thing called hustle culture. Dope. We talk about working for yourself and, you know, all this good stuff. And we talked with Adrian. He said this, Adrian Stresso. So mad I didn't get recorded. I'm so mad at myself. But anyways, he said it. He was like, bro, like, you know what? For the longest time, I thought I had to be a starving artist. You know what I mean? I thought I had to like freaking, you know, forever just get paid really low and not eat right and not hang out with friends. I thought it was just I had to pay my dues. And then I realized, wait, I'm a great swimmer. I've been a swimmer my whole life. I can do swim lessons. And now he works for a company that does swim lessons, and he does that. I don't know if it's 9 to 5. I don't think it is. Obviously, like, find the right job for you if you're going to do that. But he was like, bro, now I'm in this place where, like, when I create and when I do things, when I do my actual dream, when I make music, I'm not making music to pay for rent. And that's huge. And this is what I've been walking through. While doing this podcast, I've realized that I enjoy creating content for a brand like this, which is my dream brand, Hustle Culture. You know, a brand that's meant to inspire people, to empower, to encourage. That's why I worked at a church for the longest time. This is what I want to do. And, you know, I've been self-analyzing, like, when am I happiest with my job, and when am I not my happiest with my job? And I said it. I mean, when I do this type of shoots with clients, I hate my life. When I'm editing those videos, I literally procrastinate editing them because I hate it. But when I do this hustle culture thing and I'm talking to the camera and I have the mic on and I'm editing it and like I'm making micro content for Instagram, I'm so happy. Like, I'm enjoying it. And I've done some self-analyzing and I've realized this. I don't have to be a starving artist. You know? I applied for this job. His name's Matt Diavella. Amazing creator. I don't know if I'll get the job. He still has on his Instagram that he still hasn't hired the role that I asked for. But I took the step and I applied, because I got to that point where I'm like, it's not that I hate doing this, but there's just some sides of it that's just like, why am I putting myself in a position like just that? Why am I putting myself in this position? I think that starting this podcast and starting this brand has really like changed my way of thinking on what I like. You know, I thought that I had to be an agency guy and had to I was going to love it and like making money, all that. Working with clients, the communication. I realized that it's not, I enjoy helping people. And I thought that I could do that through my agency, because you're helping people fulfill their dreams. You're helping them get along with their business. And I think that's great. I think that's awesome. But it's the way you're doing it that is hard for me. Personally, like, it's not this like, yay, thank you. It's like an expectation thing. And don't get me wrong, I have my agency. I'm still full time. I don't have another job yet. You know what I mean? I love it. And I love that side. But there's that side of helping people where it's like you're providing a service for them. And then there's the other side of helping people where you're actually just organically just helping people. I don't know. Like, you're posting something that helps somebody, that increase their mood, that help them mentally. You know, in another world, I feel like I'd be a psychologist. Like, I'd really enjoy just or a therapist. I'd really enjoy helping people deal with their emotions and with their struggles and answering questions for them. You know, that's something I've realized about myself. So I've really been rethinking this entrepreneurship thing. Not entrepreneurship. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm saying I wrote that down because that was like, you know, the way that I wrote it, the way I thought it. I am an entrepreneur. but thinking this, I have to make this business and this is the only thing I can do, especially in the beginning. That's what I was saying. Like, I'm still small. Trinity Tax Consecration is still, it's not $1 million business. It's just not. You know what I mean? I also am not like super well off. You know, we have some months saved up in rent, but we're not like buying Bugattis or nothing. Like, it ain't crazy yet. And another thing I realized is like, another timing thing is like, when are you ready to jump off? And look, I'm a firm believer, you're never ready to jump off. And by jump off, I mean like take the leap, like I said earlier. You're never going to be ready. Like, there's just things that you're going to not even think about when you do it that you're going to run into, and you're going to be like, crap, I wasn't ready. You're never ready. You learn things by making mistakes and by doing it. And that's what Adrian told me. We had this conversation after the podcast. I was like, this is where I'm at. He's like, bro, you need to be around people who are pushing you to do it because you're killing it. Cool. But like, I also feel like I still have a lot to learn, like in the craft, in the customer experience side, you know, even in editing. Like, there's some techniques I don't know yet and I could learn. Mostly though, the business end. And I've been like, man, what if I worked at an agency again so I can learn more? Like, maybe I just jumped out of the nest prematurely and I didn't know really how to fly yet. And I'm kind of like gliding. You know what I mean? That's just how I feel. And you know, when I told Adrian that, he simply said, bro, everybody feels that way. And then this is where we talk about imposter syndrome. And I think I checked myself with this, where it was like, I feel like I'm not there yet. Because the results aren't there yet. You know, I'm not $1 million company yet. I don't have that yet. Hustle Culture isn't a big podcast yet. And this is where he was like, bro, like, I think you're sucking yourself out. Just because you haven't seen results doesn't mean you're not doing everything right. And then this leads me. And so that's my take on like when you should leap. But this is where I'll wrap it up. Look, members of Hustle Culture fam, this is where that question, am I doing things right? Am I in the right place? Should I be doing what I'm doing? Should I even chase this dream? That seems way too far-fetched. I don't know if I can do it. This really isn't like, this person said this. Maybe I should listen. I tell you this. That's imposter syndrome. That's what you're feeling. Let's look it up. Let's Google it really quick. What is imposter syndrome? What is imposter syndrome? Okay. The persistent inability to believe that one's success is deserved or has been legitimately achieved as a result of one's own efforts or skills. Wow. The inability to believe that your success is deserved or that it hasn't legitimately been achieved. That's what you're facing, bro. And I'm talking to myself here, and I'm talking to you through me. Yo, Tags, Andres, Ryan, Jacob, Elliot. Your success that you've seen is deserved. You're not where you want to be yet. But it's not because you don't know what you're doing. The opportunity just hasn't like what is luck? Who said this? I don't remember. But it said luck is when preparation and opportunity intersect, when they meet. That's what luck means. Are you prepared? Are you prepared? Me personally, I feel like I am prepared to a certain degree. I know for a fact tomorrow, and I've had these consultations with people. Shout out to Nikayla from Good Cycle, a great vintage like spot in Bishop Arts. I had one with another store. I can't remember her name, so I'm not gonna say the business name because I feel bad. But Nikayla was like, "Yo, what do you think about this?" And I offered some great, I think, advice, and she took it, and she's been telling me that it's been working for her. Like, I know that if a small business comes up to me, I am prepared to completely equip them with what it takes to like find some profitability. I know that for a fact. That's what I'm prepared for. And sometimes I just feel like I'm not there. And I think, man, there's so many things I'm thinking, and I feel like I just need to freaking wrap this thing up because, like, I feel like I'm saying way too much. Like, it's just sporadic. So I apologize for that. But at the end of the day, I just want to remind you, bro, you listening person, hustle culture member, I hope you already commented and you already answered the question of the day. But yeah, bro, you are prepared. If you thought that you had what it takes to take the leap already, then you are prepared to a certain extent. You are ready for what you like. You didn't make the jump for no reason, bro. Talking to myself. You didn't take that leap for no reason. You took it because you thought you were ready. And look, yeah, something slapped you in the face and it's got you thinking maybe I wasn't. But are you just going to sit there? What? You're just going to go back and you're just going to know, bro. Are you just going to let whatever's affecting your head, whatever you're thinking, are you going to let that one tiny little thought overcome the big wave of energy that told you to follow this dream? Are you going to do that? Serious question. You clearly think that you have a passion for a reason. And look, for the spiritual, I believe God puts desires in our hearts for a reason. Simple as that. So follow that desire, bro. Follow that dream. Follow that thing. If you haven't taken the leap yet, shoot, consider it. And all I meant by that whole segment was like, just be prepared. But once you're in it, bro, just keep going. Just keep swimming. And look, remember, I want to tell you guys this. It's a good day to have a good day. You're probably listening to this in the morning, sipping on a coffee. I'm here with you. And look, today started shitty. To be honest, it did. It started with me messing up a really fun podcast that I made the coolest promo piece for. And now I have to sit here and be like, I messed up. But it's still a great day. And hopefully this impacted you. And if it did, let me know, bro, because I feel so bad. I'm not asking for sympathy or nothing, but like I could really use somebody saying, yo, I'm glad that it didn't work out. Look, if you're a fan of Adrian Stresso and you follow me, it's going to happen. We've rescheduled. We're going to shoot it again. He was nice enough to be like, yo, let's do it again. He believes in me. He believes in what I do. And, I believe in him. And I think it's going to be a great opportunity. So don't you even worry about that. And look, if you made it this far, if you're in the audio listening or whatever, you're probably already following me. I have a challenge for y'all. Audio listeners. I challenge you to click this link, click share, and send it to 10 friends. Okay? If you can't do 10, do 5, but 10. If you do 10, I want you to put on your story. I want you to screenshot your message threads. Screenshot your message threads like here. Your message threads. Screenshot, because I'll see that the thing is there. Post it on your story and tag at Hustle Culture. And I'll share it. We'll share it on the page. And I'll personally thank you. I'll DM you. I'll freaking video call you on Instagram. Share the audio part. We really... Stella, calm down, baby. We really don't have that big of a listenership on like Spotify and Apple Podcasts. I can look at the numbers right now, actually. Where are we at? I think our estimated audience, like that's like our average, is like 17 plays per episode. Not the biggest. We get a lot more views on YouTube. Shout out YouTube gang. But if you are an audio listener already, go ahead and share that with 10 people. I want to see that. I would love it. Grow that hustle culture community. I know that if you follow this, you're passionate about it as much as I am. So thank you for being passionate about it. Let's get other people to be passionate about it, especially those people that need to hear this message. I have so many friends that are like, thank you for this stuff. I'm pretty sure that if you have those same people in your group that, you may not even know are entrepreneur but maybe sharing it with them will shine a light on that. And then 2, if you are on YouTube, we are where are we on YouTube? At the point of recording this podcast, we have 91 subscribers. If you are not subscribed, hit the subscribe button right now. If you're not subscribed, I want you to please go ahead and hit the subscribe button. We are 9 people away from 100 subscribers. That's the first big milestone that I wrote out. And, whatever. Dude, I got distracted by my phone. We're 9 away. 100 is huge for me. That's like something I really wanted to do. And, if we can get to 100, if you're like watching, bro, how long has it been? It's been an hour, bro. It's been an hour and you're still here. The least you can do is spend 2 seconds and hit that subscribe button. That's all I'm asking for. Hit the subscribe button. Just go do it. I'm providing quality content. Let me know if you like this style of episodes, like just me. Whoa, like just me. I also want to do other ones where like it's not about the guests, but I just have people on, where it's like literally it could be me on the set or whatever. But it's just a conversation about topics. More like the more regular podcast way of talking, not really about the guest necessarily. But yeah, let me know if you enjoy this version. I want to try to get in this last part, of course, if you're here, this is all just me talking to the audience, not really diving into topics anymore. So feel free to click off is what I'm saying. But if you're listening, if you're watching, I'm trying to do 2 a week from now on. And either I'll do this setup or I'll go up there twice at the studio and I'll do one with a guest and one without. And that's kind of how I want to do it. But yeah, I mean, that's it. That's it for this podcast. I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. I know it's been a minute. Again, so sorry. I know I posted about Adrian. It didn't happen. I'm so sorry. I'll give another shout out. Follow Hustle Culture on Instagram. You can follow me on Instagram. You know my @ it's Andres R Tags. But follow Hustle Culture on Instagram. It's @ Hustle Culture, but it's spelled HSLE on Instagram. Like literally 3 posts a day. Come on. You can get encouraged in the morning, during lunch, and when you get home. Sounds like a great deal to me. But yeah, that's going to be the main source for Hustle Culture. No longer going to be my page. I'm still going to be posting like my personal stuff, like photos with guests and things of that nature. It's always going to be about Hustle Culture on my page, but it's not the same. So if you want to keep getting encouraged and all that, and you want to keep seeing clips, you want to keep being all that, follow that account. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this. That's it. If you did, share it, like it, comment, make sure you answer that question. And meet a new friend. Meet a new friend in the comments. Meet a new friend on the Instagram. Don't just be a spectator. Actually engage in the community and like be a part of it. I encourage you to do that. But yeah, that's been it. This has been Hustle Culture episode 10, baby. I didn't even bring that up because I was so mad about me freaking messing up the episode. It's episode 10. We got so many more to go, but we're hitting double digits. It's going to get better as we go along. And yeah, that's been another episode of Hustle Culture hosted by your boy. Y'all have a great, blessed day and a great weekend. Peace out.